Hi everybody, my name's Kyofug, and for today's lecture, we're going to be learning how to do nature landscapes. This will include landscapes that have animals in them, plants, humans, and even some machinery. Now, you may be wondering, what kind of art materials are we going to be using today to make our nature landscapes? Here's today's offerings. You can use whatever you like, as long as it is something that is non-toxic when consumed. Because I have a tendency to engage with my art in a more, let's say, shove it in my mouth, chew it up and swallow it sort of way on certain days. So I need to make sure it's non-toxic. But if it is toxic, make sure you know the risks. Okay, here's what I have. These are some, they call them mixed media gel sticks. They're like the consistency of lipstick. They're very fun, very smooth color sticks that come in this fun case by King Art. I have no idea who they are. I'm not saying this is a fancy pants brand or anything, but I just wanted to use these. I've used this type of marker, whatever you want to call it, gel stick, crayon, whatever before. Fantastic, super smooth, great for doing, is it painting, is it drawing, who knows. They blend a little bit too. I also have for some lines and some harsh boundaries. We have these two alcohol-based markers. This is Staples Duramark, which is their take on a classic fine tip permanent marker a la a Sharpie classic. And then you have one of my favorites, king size Sharpie, underrated favorite, a go-to chisel tip. Now we're going to be using these to do our nature landscapes. Now when you're doing a nature landscape, you have to make sure that you're capturing the essence of nature. What is that? Beauty, colors, violence, wonder, and worry. If you can't remember all that, don't worry, I'm not going to repeat it again throughout this video. So only a lucky few will actually catch that one. I guess there are people out there who know how to rewind things, so they'll be able to get ahead and watch it over and over. But for the rest of us, you just had that one chance to memorize that. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start by let's just do a quick sketch to get warmed up of what we think a nature scene looks like. Now, I'm just immediately thinking bird, so I'm just going to go for a bird. Birds have beaks. They're pretty much triangle mouths that are made of bone. I'm going to do a lump head. This is a Anglo-Lawson lump head. Their eyes look quite human, so I'll capture that. Usually their bodies are sort of like a harsh geometric shape. This one's very much like a box-like shape, and they have their feet. Now, these are usually seen roaming around in like a water type area, which would be like a lake or something. So I'm going to draw it. Here's the lake that it's inside of. Now, around lakes, you have water. I mean, you have water in the lake, and there's water around the lake, which helps the trees be happy. So I'm going to do a tree here. Do a sort of broccoli style tree, and always put the little hole in it. I don't know why there's the hole, but you have to do that hole. Almost forgot it's calling feather. That's the feather it flicks up to say, hey, you got mail. All right, so there's the bird. And you know what? We said we'd do some machinery. We'll do some little bit of harsh architecture here, folks. There's a man-made cabin over there from some jerk who wants to invade nature. If you're a jerk who invades nature, you probably should be in jail. I mean, if that rule was followed, then I'd say the jails would be full of almost every person on the planet. So there's our bird. He's floating over the water. And he's probably going to find this bug, because, they eat these bugs, this type of bug. And to display for more educational picture, now, you might not see this perfect picture of the whole ecosystem here when you go walk outside, but just to help it be more educational, we'll go ahead and put their predator in there, which tends to be one of these guys. This is a tooth. Oof. These guys are vicious. All right, now we have a basic sketch outline. I mean, this helps warm up our hands, no pressure, right? Now we can go ahead and get into our markers, okay? They're not markers. I see why they call them mixed media gel sticks, because they're kind of in the uncanny valley. So these birds right here, they have the yellow beak, they have the blue and the pink for the body. So we're ready to go with that. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So let's go ahead and get the beak colored in. Fantastic. Make sure that's good. Make sure, I'm gonna rub this around. Oh look, here's a surprise piece of cotton. That means I'm lucky. Let's get the beak colored in. I hope you're following along at home and you're doing well. If anybody's out there using watercolors, I'm really glad you're paying attention because I hope you get inspired by seeing someone not using watercolors, and that makes you feel, hey, I should stop using this bad medium and use something else. And I'm gonna find it really entertaining a few weeks from now when I release, inevitably, a lecture about how to use watercolors and how great they are. And I'll contradict myself. And that will be the only time I would have ever contradicted myself. Now, this is the best part. You know, you do the filling in, boring, boring, boring. Look at this. You got the pink part, that's the fun. Here we go. Okay, so those were the colors we needed for this bird here. Now, let's go ahead and get arch nemesis, which is red and orange, because this is an angry predator. Shout out to any angry predators out there. I hope you guys are on your back foot. I hope we are winning against fighting you. You guys suck. You're evil. So its body is orange, as you know, and then we got the red. This is what it like. It's anger protruding. It's anger protruding and shooting out. Now we've got that covered. This is obviously a brown cabin. If you think otherwise, then you're probably not so smart. I'm going to be honest with you. You're probably not so smart. All right. Now this happens to be the broccoli tree. Obviously, broccoli's green, so it's green. And we don't forget brown trunk. Now the thing about this scene is there's drama, because you have the center figure, our main neutral creature, which consumes these stupid creatures, and then you have this pure aggression creature trying to kill the neutral creature. This is kind of what the universe is like generally. This pattern repeats almost infinitely. So let's go ahead and get this blue, which is for this beautiful fresh spring water. Wow, I'd like to get a slice of this timeshare. Wow. And then don't forget, let's see, what's next, folks? What are we forgetting? Yes, that's right. You forgot the orange grass. Some of you were sitting there like, oh, I don't know what to do next. You gotta pay attention. Watch this video a few times, you'll always know what's next. Watch it a few times each day and you'll always know what's next in this video. All right. Now that we've got the orange grass, all we need is to do the sky. Now maybe this is sort of a gloomy, emo, I listen to The Cure a lot, but not the poppy stuff. I listen to deep cuts by the Cure and I get all sad. It's like a purple, emo, sad, goth sky. So let's get that in there. Because remember, we're not scientists, we're artists. Now we want to be accurate, but we also want to be artsy-fartsy and emotional. Look at me, I cut off my ear, I am an artist. You know, like that. But don't be an incel like Van Gogh was. Just be the cuckoo crazy part, make cool pictures. So here's our scene right here. Now don't forget you need to title your pieces. So this piece we're gonna go ahead and title it. I'm gonna use this black right here. This is gonna be called the bird zone. Okay? This right here is the bird zone, folks. What a fantastic picture. I mean, this picture is really fantastic. If you start practicing in this style, I believe you'll make a lot of money selling these, okay? You'll make a lot of money selling these, and I'm really sure that you're gonna be just absolutely killing it, okay, folks? Now, here's the thing to consider. This is a great piece of art. Let's move on. For our next scene, let's get a little more spicy with it. So this would be a mountain range that's like this. This is Spike Mountains. Okay, a range of spiky mountains. And then it has the puffy section here at the bottom. And then up here is like the wispiness. Now you can get in here with the colors. Now the spiky mountains tend to be sort of have these like, the sides tend to be blue. Here's the spiky mountains, the sides tend to be blue, and the blue circle, little dot circle above it, that's where the mountain kind of squishes out the top, okay? And then after that, you have the brown base at the bottom of the mountain. Don't forget that. The smaller mountains haven't matured, so they don't have the blue yet. And that's pretty obvious. If you know anything about, Animal Planet, then you know that there's planets on this animal. So let's get the brown bases in there. And then as we know, the bodies are a beautiful yellow color. That's from it absorbing all the sun. Because the sun's yellow, it absorbs the yellow. Let's get that in there, folks. What do you think of this? What do you think of this painting? Honest opinions only in the comment section, folks. If you think this is a good painting, I want you to comment, wow, this is such a great painting. I really like what you got going on here. Hey, anybody reading this, please go ahead and share this video. I think you should do that. All right. There we go. Got the base of the mountains yellow. Now this part at the bottom, this is just, you know what this is. This is the orange and purple, the puffy, swirly part. That's what it sounds like. It's a bit of a musical, puffy, swirly section. Let me get the purple part in there. Hey, shout out to Purple Guy from the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. Who remembers that? All right. Let's get in here with the purple swirls. Ooh. What do you think this place is like? I think this is like a very intense, like it's a beautifully intense place that's kind of stressful and busy and like there's a lot of shit going on, but it's also just a gorgeous place and you're gonna have so much life. You're gonna live so much life. You spend 2 days in this spiky mountain range and you can go relax in the puffy section when you need to. So this is the spiky mountain. So we'll title it Spike Mountain. Spike Mountain. There we go. I'd say this is another successful piece. This would probably sell for at least $450,000. And now you're saying, well, how are you estimating it that way? It's because as the artist, I valued it at that much, and that's the amount I would sell it at, so it's worth that much. That's how you make a lot of money. Now I just need a tall, sexy French art dealer to swoop me off my feet and buy all my art, and then we'll be all set. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, folks? All right. Here we go. Let's get a big scary scene here. Scary. Whoa. Hey, hang on, guys. Scary scene. What's scary? A big bear. A big tooth bear. That's what they sound like. When I think of tooth bear, I think of this guy right here. Boom. Classic tooth bear. Shout out to this tooth bear right here. He's the little nubby tail. If anybody knows why, bears typically have that nubby little tail, go ahead and send me an email, killfug@gmail.com. Let me know why the bears have a nubby little tail. Even the teeth bears do. Look at this guy. What the heck is going on with this guy? He's ready to eat your face. That's what's going on. Okay? That's what's going on. This guy's ready to eat your face. Now, you typically think brown bear, black bear, brown bear, black bear, maybe a polar bear, and it's white. Guess what? These freaking teeth bears that rip you apart, they got green legs here, folks. And then, now, I bet those of you who are into nature and science and are well-studied are already grabbing the right color. I want those of you who don't know, think logically. What would a tooth bear have for its body? Ready? I'm about to pull it on screen. That's right, rose. That is the color of the body of a toothy teeth bear. That was disgusting. You're fired. All right, here we go. Boom, you're hired. Welcome back. There's the body. Now, trick question. What is the color I'm going to get to do the head for this tooth bear right here? Okay, you guessed? You're wrong. Because the head has two colors. It's not the color. It's the colors. If you were already ahead of me, gold star. Good job. You know the head is brown and blue. With the blue being the more floaty part. And then the brown being the more harsh, like, solid. Yeah, there we go. Now this is really starting to look like a tooth bear. Now this is really starting to look like a tooth bear. I mean, this looks like a tooth bear. I am bearing the tooth with this guy. Now, honestly, they usually don't have eyes, but I gave them eyes. Earlier when I said they have human eyes, that was me projecting my own wishes onto this creature. But since we gave it eyes anyways, let's go ahead and give it an eye color we want. I'm going to go ahead and do this because maybe it's been doing a lot of those marijuana cigarettes I've heard so much about. And its eyes are really red. And maybe also it's, you know, its actual, the color part of its eyes. What are those called? Oh yeah, the clumples. Wow. Hey, welcome back. All right. This tooth bear, look, it's beautiful, but let's just get it done. Let's get it done with the orange nose and let's title it and move on. Okay? Let's title it and move on, okay? Okay? Come on. We know what this is. It's a tooth bear. This one I'd value at probably $40 million. Venmo only. Okay? Tooth bear. There it is. There it is. This is a tooth bear, folks. Come on now. Let's move on to our next one. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. What am I smelling here? What am I smelling? Okay, I definitely see what this one is. This one is a hunter man who's hunting. He's hunting for the animals because that's nature. Here's his shotgun right here. Bam! Right here. Looking down the barrel. Here's his eye looking down the barrel. And then here's his other eye, which isn't looking down the barrel. And then here's his nose. Here's his hunter's hat. His ear. His mouth. His teeth are gritted because he's like, I'm doing the gritty here. I'm gritting my teeth because I'm aiming my shotgun. Here's his hand on his shotgun here. And guess what? Turns out the beast was behind him the whole time. The beast was actually behind him the whole time. And the reason it was behind him the whole time is because he's a stupid man. It's a very stupid man. Hey, listen, if you know a stupid man, here he is. He's going hunting. Look, and then guess what? The creature shows up behind him. And it's about to kill him because he's stupid. I'm gonna label it for you. This is a stupid man. You can send this to the stupid man, okay? Send it to him. This is the freaking creature, the stupid man on a hunt looking for that creature, and the creature teleported behind him. He's so stupid that he forgot to get proper nutrients, and he also decided to take a lot of expired, cheap imported vitamins, and now he has jaundice. Look how stupid this guy is. This is one of the stupidest guys I've ever seen. And look at this void creature behind him. Look at this. It's gonna tear him to shreds. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look at this creature. And just like all the creepypastas, they were right. What does it have? Realistic blood eyes. There they are. There's the stupid guy. And you know what? Hey, look, if he's a stupid guy, he's probably one of these guys with the red hat. You dig? You get me? And he's a stupid guy probably means, you know what? He's probably even using like a frickin' Nerf gun or something. This is a stupid guy who's gone hunting who's about to get destroyed. He's gonna get destroyed, folks. I really hope we can all, get together and join hands and grieve this stupid man who's gonna get killed by this void creature. Because he went hunting and he's gonna get killed by this void creature. Okay. Moving on to the next nature picture. let's get going. This is going to be a traditional painting, meaning no line drawing. It's just going to be the shapes. And it's just going to be, guess if you can see what this is. Guess if you can see what this is. While I'm drawing this, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about what happened today. So what happened today was I was at the art zone, which is where I sell my art. Art zone. I was there and an art dealer came up and said, "Hey man, listen, I know you make cool art, but could you make bad art? I'll give you $3. I said, "Get the heck out of here, man. I'm not taking any of that bull crap. I'm only going to be sticking to making good art from here until I'm going to always do that. Always. I'm not messing with that bad art. Now, some people might mess with that. I don't mess with bad art. I make good art, even if at the art zone, big money guys like, hey, I want to give you so much money to make bad art." I'd be like, get out of town. Get out of town. You think you can really convince me to make bad art? I don't care if you're waving a stack of hundreds in my face. You're not going to get me off of my art trip. Come on. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm doing this painting, which is probably going to sell for $40 million within the next few years. The thing is that right now, I'll get offers to make $100 million paintings that are bad. Now, I could do that, but guess what? Then it would be bad art, and I'd be a phony baloney. And I don't want to be a phony baloney. Do you want to be a phony baloney? I don't think so. You want to be a great artist. That's why you want to do nature scenes like this, so that you can make a lot of money from your artwork, but also still make really great stuff. This nature scene, this is Kansas. I just figured it was obvious, but that's what this is. Moving on to the next one, folks. This is the next one, okay? Hang in there. We'll do an ocean. Ocean is nature. You usually don't think of ocean as nature, but ocean is nature. Okay? What's in the ocean? Sound off if you know what an ocean creature is. Yep. You're right. Those are all, but I chose a fish. That's what I'm going to do first. Just the basic, here's my basic outline of a fish. There's also this pillar. Is underwater too. What color is my fish? You said brown? Okay. I'm not digging that, but you know what? You said it with such confidence. You've been interacting the whole video. We'll do brown, but I'm going to put a little bit of my own specialness in there. I'm going to put a little of my own stuff. I was planning on doing green, so we'll do green for the fins. Okay? Can we work with that? We're working with it. No, I'm vibing with it. Let's make this guy high on drugs too. Look, this fish is high on drugs. He's a drug fish. He's a fish that's high on drugs. What color is our pillar today? It's a yellow pillar. What's this pillar do? Do you think it gives them energy? Do you think this pillar gives the ocean energy? Or do you think this pillar is bad? Now this fish here, I'm going to tell you what this fish is up to. This fish is a real mean guy. He's a real mean guy, and I'll tell you why. Because he has a sword. You know what he does with that sword? He kills people. This guy's a murderer. Why does he do that? I don't know. His motive is quite mysterious. He leaves a bunch of poop all over the ocean. And I guess my theory would be is he's embarrassed from how shitty he is. Literally. I mean, look at all the shit that this fish is shitting everywhere. So I bet that he's pretty embarrassed about that. That's why he's shitting everywhere and killing everybody. So, this could be someone you know. You might know someone who's just shitting everywhere and just kills everybody. So if you know someone like that, well, This image might be therapeutic for them to see. They might feel represented by this picture of this shitty fish who killed a lot of people with a sword. I remember how with the last one, I didn't title it. That was because this spoke for itself. The other ones I gave a title to be helpful, but if you saw this and you didn't think Kansas, then you're a lost cause. This one, same thing. It couldn't be more obvious. The other ones were a little more challenging. This one's just completely obvious, so you know what this is the first time you see it. All right, moving on to the next one. This is going great, folks. We made some great art, and I hope you're all learning. And hey, I'm going to do something fun. Hi to the person that is watching this for the 4th time. If you're on your 4th view, all the 4th time viewers here that are learning to do art, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. If you followed along for all 4, I'm going to see you at the next Met Gala, you mover and shaker. Because if you followed this 4 times in a row, you're almost at my level. Because you've been studying. All right, let's go ahead and do this piece right here. This is what, part of nature is people. What do people have? People have souls. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and draw what your soul looks like. Here we go. You right now, drawing your soul. Here it is. Here it is. This is your soul. Right here. I'm going to do this part too. You didn't think I was going to do this. I'm including that in there. Now you were like, you're putting me on the spot. Hey, don't put that there. I did. I saw it. I'm taking note of it. Here's your anger. Here's your anger. In your soul. We know it's there. I can see it. Here's that little cute part, the little bow. Here's the little cute part. It's little. The anger in the gray mass is so much bigger. Here's you lusting. It's green because you're lusting after money. You're greedy. That's part of your soul right there. Part of your soul is also being sad. You're a sad soul. People say, oh, I'm an old soul. You're a sad, angry, greedy, cute soul. That's you. Let's go ahead and title it just in case anybody didn't know what we were doing here. This is your soul. Right here. That's it. That's you. That's your soul. Right there. I captured it. I hope this reveals some things and you can start working on this mess. Okay? Thank you. Let's go ahead and do the next one. What else is nature? That human body is nature. Let's go ahead and do a reclined person. A reclined person who maybe is laying there reclined. And it's a human body. That's great for nature because it's natural. Let me show you. Usually people have eyes. Now, I've seen people who don't, and that happens. It's true. But this person has eyes. Reclining, there's the knee. The knee. There it is. Foot. Other foot. Drawing the toes. The foot. Now, because you may have heard me say this before, we are in the midst of Johnny Depp's book, 1984, which means we're censored up the wazoo, which means this has to be something that, the people over at the big tech companies, how they are, will let me get all the money. Okay? So I have to make this different than what it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Put that there so we don't get in trouble. These, I think they won't clock. I think I can do that. Now, let's go ahead and color this in because let's get accurate. We have colors today, so let's get accurate. So this person is probably bleeding from their elbows. That's from going, like this, like that, way too much. So their elbows are bleeding. Let's say they have an awful spray tan. They're orange. Maybe they're from Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that's where maybe they're a young Republican or something. There we go. Awful spray tan. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that beautiful spray tan. Look at that beautiful spray tan. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. This is a gorgeous person. Now this person has probably been hitting their pen all day. So we're going to go ahead and get in there. Wow. Wow. Don't let him drive. And maybe their you-know-what is blue. Because they haven't really gotten much attention in that regard. And we'll go ahead and get their hair. Does this remind you of anybody? Does this painting, this beautiful work of art, remind you of anybody in particular? Just asking if this reminds you of anybody in particular. Okay. Just have a few more left here, folks. Hang in there. We got this. We're learning, we're learning, we're learning, we're learning. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next. We're going to use the chisel tip. Our next landscape. Oh, but that was a portrait. That was a person. Listen, art is subjective, and art is a retrospective, and art is a collective. So when you do this, it's nature and it's a portrait, because everyone knows when you're on your phone and you take a camera this way, it's portrait mode. It's sorry. My goodness. I hope you didn't write that down. This is landscape mode. This is portrait mode. So these are all landscapes because they're this way. If anyone tells you different, if your art teacher tells you different, tell them, hey, take a hike, bozo. The smartest guy online told me otherwise. All right, let's go ahead and get this one. Now, let's get in a classic nature landscape. Chisel tip's going away, actually. Oh, big fake out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Let's get in a great nature landscape, folks. We need to concentrate. Take a moment to breathe. Make sure you are getting in all the details, or else you are weak and feckless. Just breathe, people. Come on. Do the art. Do the art. Breathe. Yes. Now, let's add color to our nature landscape. Don't forget to put the red in this part. And this part. And of course, here. Now we use this to get the sky. Breathe, people. Breathe, 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 breathe. Don't stop breathing. Breathe, people. Come on, breathe in and out. Don't suffocate. That's stupid. And for some finishing touches. And there you have it. A perfect photorealistic nature landscape priced at $450 million for you to see. All right, folks, the same way that we warmed up, let's go ahead and cool down. Let's draw some flowers. Let's draw some flowers. I'm going to do purple petals on this flower. You know how people refer to things that are like super nice and chill and kind of soft around the edges and no worries as flowery? I think that's because flowers are just universally just like pretty and calming. Maybe you're an exception. Maybe you're a cranky guy, but I haven't really heard someone be like, oh, flowers. Like, I get like expensive and environmental concerns, but in terms of just the way they look, I haven't heard anybody be like, oh, flowers are disgusting or something. You know? You really had to try to argue against a nice flower. This next one, I'm going to use this blue color, aqua blue, with these petals. I hope that this session has been good for you and that you've studied. And for those who aren't studying, though I wish you were, and you were practicing your nature landscapes and your art skills, I'm glad you came here to see this experience, this journey, this lecture, this demonstration. So now you know how the sausage is made in terms of great art. I'm seeing one more. I've been enjoying this red. Let's use this red. Do one more flower. Let's do one more flower. Bring things down. Bring things down. Bring things down. Do you tend to give people flowers for events, birthdays, things like that? Do you know anybody like that or know anybody who like really likes it when you get them flowers? My mom, because of her allergies, does not like to get flowers, though she does like to keep plants in her house. My fiance has always been a flower giver. We'll go ahead and use this as our little wrap-up goodbye card here. Okay? Let's go ahead and wrap up. Today, we did some nature landscapes. Okay? And my name is K-Y-O. I put a dot right there in the middle. F-U-G. I really hope you learned a lot. I'm curious, what did your flowers turn out like? You can go ahead and send pictures of the flowers you made to kyofug@gmail.com. I recommend frequent study and review of this video in order to develop your landscape skills in the genre of nature. And I hope you overall just enjoyed this experience and learned a lot. All right. That's all for me today. This is Kyofug, Nature Landscapes. I hope to see you again soon.